Welcome to The Heart of Health Live. There's a place for modern medicine in your life. Learn to use it correctly by getting your toughest questions answered on today's broadcast. Discover modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses. Lifestyle medicine opens the door to optimum health and healing. How you live and what you eat can profoundly affect mind and body. Learn simple solutions to complex problems. God provides the ultimate healing we all desire. He wants us healthy and happy. We just need to understand His plan for our lives and live accordingly. And now, live from Studio 1A in Chattanooga, Tennessee, here's your Heart of Health host, Dr. James Marcum.
Good evening and welcome everyone to Heart of Health Live, where we want you to be part of the program. We have a very interesting and exciting program that's going to be very valuable for each one of you out there to hear today. And I'm going to introduce that in a second here. But I'm glad you joined us. And our phone number, 855-644-3278. And if you want to get in on our questions, we want to invite you to do it now. This evening, we have a pain specialist, and his name is Dr. Dennis Ford. We're going to be talking about pain, anti-aging, all sorts of things like that. So if you might have a question, give us a call, 855-644-3278. I was driving in today and I was listening to the radio, and everyone was very excited about Powerball. And I wonder how many of you out there have played Powerball within the last 24 hours. But as you know, there's a big jackpot. And they were talking today about the odds of you winning on Powerball. And the odds of you winning are 1 in 175 million of winning the Powerball thing. So those aren't very good odds. And if you think about odds of other things, the odds of you out there being struck by lightning is 1 in 775,000. So if you think about that, the chance of you winning the Powerball is the same as you being struck by lightning twice. So, there's not the best odds, okay? But the odds of a person out there having chronic pain is 1 in 4. 1 in 4 people out there have chronic pain, 25%. And those are just the people we know about. And you think about all that we talk about on this program, health programs, we talk about hearts and cancer and lifestyle. But when a health condition affects 1 in 4 people, we need to talk about it. So we're going to talk about pain today. It can affect up to 1 in 4 people. It affects up to $60 billion in lost production. In a few years ago, the quotes were about $2.6 billion was spent in over-the-counter medications, and $14 billion were spent on analgesics of all types. And analgesics is just a fancy name for a medicine that helps deal with pains. What might be a chronic pain? Headaches, arthritis, back pain, all sorts of things can cause chronic pain. So that's what we're going to talk about. We're here with Dr. Dennis Ford. We want you to give us a call live, 855-644-3278.
We'll return in just a moment.
My life is full of statistics. Thing is, I could have dropped out of school and become one myself, but I didn't, because I had people that believed in me. Here's another statistic. 7,000 students drop out every school day. That's 1 every 26 seconds. It's time that students know that we believe in them.
Inspire a student and share your message of support at boostup.org.
I'm Dr. James Marcum with your medical moment. I don't know about you, but I get thirsty if I talk a lot. Well, one of the greatest needs of our body is water. Did you realize that up to 70% of our body is water? All the chemical reactions from the brain to the heart beating to the muscles moving all depend on water. It's one of the most important substances we put in our body. If we get dehydrated, many bad things happen. We can have inflammation, we can have the blood thicken, we can have blood pressure changes, we can even have our heart race. You don't want to be walking around in the desert. Hydrate yourself. How much do you need? Divide your weight in 2, that's about how many ounces. Or drink enough water till your urine comes out clean. Remember, water is one of the most important ingredients we put in ourselves every day.
To learn more about your health and discover what Dr. Marcum is doing in your area, visit heartwiseministries.org.
Imagine a classroom with no boundaries. A classroom where reenacting a book is an English class, and repairing a motor is a math lesson. A classroom where caring for horses is biology. This is our classroom. At Bachman Academy, 6th to 12th graders with ADHD, dyslexia, and other language-based learning differences are provided a language-rich, hands-on program of study. With an average of 5 students per teacher, Bachman students receive more attention and have more time to learn while using their own learning strengths. Now, imagine your child in this classroom. To learn more about Bachman Academy, visit our website at www.bachmanacademy.org. Bachman Academy, tapping potential one person at a time.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
I'm glad you're joining us. If you just tuned in, we're talking about pain tonight. We have a specialist on pain management, Dr. Dennis Ford. We're going to introduce him tonight. Dennis, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for asking me.
Now tell me about your journey. What got you interested in pain management? Now it's a specialty in medicine.
Oh, about 1995, I woke up one day with a crick in my neck. And I'm thinking, well, this will go away. And about 2 months later, the pain started going down my arm, and I started having severe pain score about 8. Mm-hmm. And so then I went and had an MRI and had 2 herniated cervical discs.
Okay.
So I did chiropractic treatment, I did acupuncture, and still having a significant amount of pain. And then fortunately, one of my friends, another pain doctor that I'd been seeing, did 2 epidurals on me and took my pain away.
Okay.
So
now, explain, what is an epidural for everybody?
Epidural steroid injection is where you, if you have a herniated disc, you put a steroid under X-ray guidance next to that where the disc is. It helps take the inflammation away.
Okay. Okay. Good. So what happened after that?
And so for the first week, I felt like, man, my pain's gone. And it slowly started coming back. And then I had a second one. And fortunately for me, I've been feeling good for about 17 years now.
Wow. So evidently that calming down the inflammation helped your body heal?
Yes.
And then everything's been
I
good.
never repeated the MRI, but I don't really hurt anymore, so I avoided surgery, and so far so good.
So that's what's got you interested. Now you've gone to medical school and had some training.
Yes.
Tell us about some of the other training you've
So I
been
did
through.
family practice at Erlanger, a family practice residency, and then I decided to do anesthesiology, so I went to Vanderbilt, did an anesthesiology residency.
Okay.
I did anesthesiology for 18 years, and towards the end I started doing pain management because I had the pain, and I saw there was a need there to help other people.
Okay. And how long have you been practicing pain management now?
For about 13, 14 years.
Now, do you have to, I know that when I went to school, you go and do your internal medicine or whatever. You don't just do specifically pain, do you?
There is a fellowship now where you do an anesthesiology or a physiatry residency in pain.
Okay, because I know it's a growing field, and you can see the reason we're talking about it, because 1 in 4 people have it.
Yes.
It's sort of a big deal, and unfortunately we hear a lot of people that are hooked on pain medicines, and a lot of people aren't getting the knowledge that they need. So that's what we hope, and we want you to call in to us on our phone number, 855-644-3278. Dr. Ford has not only had chronic pain, but he now treats it and understands it in great detail. Well, our first caller's here. And Mike, you're on the line with Dr. Dennis Ford. What's your question or comment? Mike, you there? Well, Mike's tuning in from Kentucky here.
Wow.
So that's far away. Yeah, go ahead, Mike. You're on with Dr. Ford.
Okay, I was curious about, I've had a back, everybody's been saying it's a pinched nerve.
Uh-huh.
And I was in a wreck at 18, so I'm 43, and basically, my question is, could that possibly be most of my problem?
It could be. Does the pain radiate down your leg, or is it localized mainly to your back?
It varies. It does go down the leg and back. I've had times where, I feel like I couldn't even get up. Like I was 90 years old.
And this has been going on for how long?
For a while, and I really didn't look into, everybody go to a chiropractor, and some people are saying you might need back surgery and all this, and I kind of disagreed. I thought, well, I don't need to go through all more pain and stuff, but basically, I was just kind of, I guess, asking, does it sound like a pinched nerve to you?
It could very well be. Probably what you need to do is start off, I don't know what you've done so far, start off with an x-ray, maybe probably lead to an MRI of your back, and then you could do different options depending on, you could start off with chiropractic, physical therapy, and if you don't get any better, you can see someone like me that for possibly an epidural steroid injection to see if we could get the pain to go away. And the last resort would be surgery if nothing else worked. But hopefully, a lot of times we're very successful in one of these options, getting your pain to go away.
Right. I've always heard a lot of people, my girlfriend, she had that back surgery, and she's still having chronic, and yet I've always heard people say, you know, don't do it, you know, majority.
That's the last resort typically. It's 60% success rate up to 40% failure rate with back surgery.
Well, what was that?
Right.
Around a 60% success rate up to 40% failure rate with back surgery.
I did not realize that. Wow.
So that's the reason it's always last resort. I mean, you try other things and when you can't take any longer, then you consider it.
Well, and another thing, like you were saying earlier, is a lot of people get addicted to pain pills and all. And the first thing they want to do is throw me on all that stuff. And I said, no, I'm not doing that because I don't want to be a stat.
Hey, Mike, we're going to come back with you. We got to go to a short break, but we're going to be right back after this break, and we're going to continue this conversation. So stay on the line with us. We're going to be right back on the Heart of Health Live.
Okay.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
There's a place for modern medicine, but that's not enough. There's a place for lifestyle, but that's not enough. The real truth in medicine, the real truth in healing comes from that relationship with the Heavenly Father. That relationship can show us the balance, when to use modern medicine, when to use lifestyle, and to use it for the right reasons. Well, this book gives the solution to the healthcare dilemma. It answers the question, why am I sick? How do I get better? And how can I have ultimate healing? I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
Nice. No. Oops. Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back to Heart of Health Live. I'm Dr. James Marcum. I'm with Dr. Dennis Ford, who's a specialist in pain management. Not only that, but he understands family medicine. He's worked as an anesthesiology. He's actually experienced chronic pain, and I think all these are very valuable. And we've been talking with Mike, and if you want to join our conversation, 855-644-3278 is your number. Mike, are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Well, Mike, the reason I wanted to talk some more with you is because you're not the only one that has this type of problem. And if we can,
Right.
if you can sort of let us know what you've been through and what you're going through, this is going to help a lot of other people. So tell us, where have you been with your pain? Have you had it evaluated yet?
I mean, when I was 18, basically it sent me to the ER. You know, they just quickly kind of gave me some pills, would I say. I mean, they said they x-rayed it and everything, but they claimed they didn't see anything. But to me, afterwards, of course, I was in warehousing and construction most of my life so far. And that hasn't helped. I've had some days where I just was ready to lay down and call it quits.
Okay, Mike,
And,
have you seen a doctor about this?
Off and on I had. Finally ran into a chiropractor. He'd give me some, I'm trying to think of the gel he gave me. You know, occasionally that helped me. Some mornings I had to go to work, you know, had no choice and stuff. I guess you know, another thing too is I feel like if I can resolve this might help even with depression and a lot of things with, you know, myself and stuff. You know, if I can resolve, I think my life would be a lot different.
No question, it would. Have you had an MRI of your back to look and see if there's any herniated disc or degenerative disc disease?
I had been told that I had a, what do they call it, the lower disc. There's a name, I can't think right off what they told me. Bulging disc.
Bulging disc.
And, yeah, and yet I feel like it's more maybe that pinched nerve. I guess my problem is I don't know enough information about the pinched nerve.
Okay, basically, if it's a bulging disc, there's several things. It could be pressing against the nerve, pinching it, or it could be leaking out some substance. The center of the disc, it could irritate and inflame the nerve. It could cause back pain down your leg.
All right, that sounds like what you're saying. I'm getting, you know, a little bit of that, and occasionally I feel like I'm 20, and then the next day I probably feel my age and some. You know, so
how's your weight?
Mm-hmm.
How's your weight? How tall are you, and how much do you weigh?
That's another thing. I'm 5'10". Currently, I weigh 180.
So you're pretty good. It's not too bad.
Right, but I've noticed when I put on weight that occasionally feel like that's putting a lot of pressure on my, you know, lower part of my body and
Definitely.
stuff like that.
So there's several
treatments. I know a general.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying I have a general idea about what you're saying. I guess like you're saying there, you got to know more about it, and you got to understand, and of course, like you said, first thing somebody needs to know is maybe the steps to take. You know, what have I got? You know, instead of everybody I can open the hood underneath a car and say that, you know, it's a radiator, or but I could guess all day long, just like they're doing my back.
Okay, what would you advise someone like this to do, Dr. Porter?
Okay, I would, if you've had an MRI, I would, depending on how recent it was, there's several options. One, you could do chiropractic, see if that would help. Have they adjusted your back, see if that would help? Okay, and then if that didn't help, there's other options. You could try acupuncture, or you need physical therapy.
That's something I've seen kind of recently. I kind of wondered about.
And that's a possibility. These are the things I did when I had my neck problem. And then another option would be physical therapy. Would try to strengthen those back muscles and abdominal muscles to protect your back. And then another option would be like a cervical or lumbar epidural steroid injection to see if it would ease your pain and take the pain away.
So you think if this is, like you were saying, maybe possibly if it is nerve, possibly, we're guessing here, that if that lower part of that bulging disc and stuff puts pressure, that could be part of, you know what I'm saying, my aggravation?
Yes, and another option I recommend, I do myself, as I have an inversion table I hang on in my house. And that's another option. You can hang upside down 5-10 minutes a day, helps decompress your back.
Okay, I've heard that too. You know, like I said, I've read a lot of things for myself. You hear the world tell you one thing, and of course, you know, you're trying to listen and see what's best for you. You know, it's not everything's best for everybody.
Exactly.
Okay,
and that's something that gets me is everybody's a doctor.
Mike, thanks for your call. And if you keep listening, we'll keep giving on some more points. And we want to invite you to give us a call, 855-644-3278. We're live with Dr. Ford. We're going to be right back after this short break.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
The Ultimate Prescription by cardiologist Dr. James Marcum is taking the nation by storm. People everywhere are learning what living a healthy life is all about. If you're happy living a drug-filled, pain-filled, mundane existence, this book is definitely not for you. In this book, Dr. Marcum dives into modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses and explains how lifestyle choices can significantly impact your health. To get your copy, visit Barnes & Noble or shop online at Amazon.com.
I'm Dr. James Marcum with your medical moment. I don't know about you, but I get thirsty if I talk a lot. Well, one of the greatest needs of our body is water. Did you realize that up to 70% of our body is water? All the chemical reactions from the brain to the heart beating to the muscles moving all depend on water. It's one of the most important substances we put in our body. If we get dehydrated, many bad things happen. We can have inflammation, we can have the blood thicken, we can have blood pressure changes, we can even have our heart race. You don't want to be walking around in the desert. Hydrate yourself. How much do you need? Divide your weight in two, that's about how many ounces. Or drink enough water till your urine comes out clean. Remember, water is one of the most important ingredients we put in ourselves every day.
To learn more about your health and discover what Dr. Marcum is doing in your area, visit heartwiseministries.org.
Have you ever heard things about God that didn't make sense? Have you ever thought that science and Scripture cannot be reconciled? Have you heard ideas about God that scare you? Or are you just tired and confused? If you want answers to complex problems, if you want a testable, evidence-based understanding of God and the world around you, an understanding in which the Bible and science harmonize to reveal the reality that God is love all the time, then Come and Reason Ministries is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Jennings, board-certified psychiatrist, and Come and Reason Ministries is dedicated to helping you learn to discern, to stimulate you to think, to help hone and refine your ability to know the right from the wrong, the healthy from the unhealthy, and teach you how to experience healing of your mind, body, and relationships here and now. If you would like an evidence-based approach to knowing God, then visit us online at comeandreason.com.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm Dr. James Marcum. Tonight's topic has been pain. And unfortunately, this is going to be a topic, Dr. Ford, we're going to have to talk about again and again because a lot of people are having pain. We need to get good information out there. And I think one of the things that you made so clear is that there are a lot of other treatment options for pain besides surgeries or narcotics and those type of things.
Yes. Try to save those for last resort, even the pain medication. I don't like giving a lot of that out because there can be problems with that, but there's certain people that's the only option they have left, and so we have to do that safely as we can.
Yeah, and I know we're not going to be able to talk about everything tonight, but we're going to start the discussion, and you can go to our website too, that's heartwiseministries.org. We'll have Dr. Ford, and over time we're going to get all this information you need out to you so you can make some really good decisions. Dr. Ford, I think our last caller, Mike, one of the things, you got to have a diagnosis.
Exactly. You got to have a working basis to go off of and kind of know how to attack the problem.
Yeah, and you, it seemed like what helped you out so much is they took the pressure off the nerve via the epidural, so the inflammation would go down, so it could heal on its own.
Exactly. And so far I've been feeling great. I can still run, snow ski, water ski, play sports and weight lift and feel great. I was miserable.
Yeah, but you kept searching.
Right.
You kept searching for things. Did you ever have to take narcotics?
No, I couldn't do that as an anesthesiologist. I couldn't be taking pain medicine,
right.
putting somebody to sleep.
Okay.
So.
Well, we have another question that's come in from South Carolina. Roxy, you're on with Dr. Ford. What's your question that he can help you with?
Well, I'm not sure if anybody can help me.
Well, if not, we can sure pray for you, Roxy, but throw it out there and we'll see what Dr. Ford thinks.
Well, I have like a 75% fracture in my thoracic, and I stay to my bed. And then I have other things that I don't understand that the doctor never tells me about. I've had MRIs done a year, and I haven't been told anything except it's stable. I don't even know what he's talking about, stable. I have a 75% thoracic fracture, which I needed operated in '05.
So when did you have this fracture? How long ago was this fracture?
It was in '04.
And the pain has still stayed there?
Yes, I stayed in my bed.
Did you have surgery on it, you said?
Yes, sir. It's from my neck. I, read little parts of it, and the last MRI I've had, they haven't even told me what was wrong or anything.
Which thoracic vertebra is it? Do you know what number they told you?
It's up above, in between my shoulder blades.
Okay. The reason I'm asking, because we sometimes we do this procedure called a kyphoplasty, where we put in plastic bone cement, and a lot of times it takes that pain away. And we usually do from T5 down, though.
Well, they put cement in the fracture, but I think they put it in the wrong fracture. They showed me a picture, and it was crushed like an eggshell. And I said, "Doctor, they put it in the wrong fracture." And he took it down. And that's been a few years ago when he took it down.
Okay. Well, Roxy, we can't actually know all the details, but maybe we can give you some suggestions. And other people that have pain that cannot be fixed surgically, what are the options for those type of patients?
Okay, if the kyphoplasty did not help, then I guess basically the only other
I think they put it in the wrong fracture, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because I looked at it, and I said, that's where it's crushed like an eggshell. When you step on the eggshell?
Yes, ma'am.
It looked like an eggshell.
Okay.
And I said, there's the cement up above.
Did you get another opinion?
You get a second opinion?
I've went and got some new MRI done, and it's been almost a year, and I haven't been told anything except it's stable, and I don't even know what he's talking about. I said, "Doctor, you have not gone over it with me."
Okay, what I would do, I would see if they had get a doctor to go over with you and see if that's the spot that needs to be done or if it was done in the right place for the kyphoplasty.
Yes, I've almost.
A second opinion is always a good idea.
A couple of times, you know.
Yeah, a second opinion, Roxy, that might help you out. And then, unfortunately, if they cannot fix it, then we might have to take some medications to help relieve the pain as well.
I've been on medications and oxycodone.
Okay. Well, Roxy, we're going to pray for you, but I would focus on a second opinion, okay? We're going to be right back after the break, and we have Linda calling. Linda, hang on. We're going to be right back on Heart of Health Live. 855-644-3278. We're on with Dr. Ford.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
So here's a question. If you love Jesus, and I mean truly love him, people will notice, right? I mean, if Jesus is at the center of everything you do, people will have to notice. And that is exactly what Life Talk is all about. You see, at Life Talk, our goal has always been to connect people to the true source of power, Jesus Christ. We know with Jesus at the center of our lives, nothing is impossible.
There's a place for modern medicine, but that's not enough. There's a place for lifestyle, but that's not enough. The real truth in medicine, the real truth in healing comes from that relationship with the Heavenly Father. That relationship can show us the balance, when to use modern medicine, when to use lifestyle, and to use it for the right reasons. Well, this book gives the solution to the healthcare dilemma. It answers the question, why am I sick? How do I get better? And how can I have ultimate healing?
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back to Heart of Health Live. We're talking about pain. I'm talking with Dennis Ford, who is a specialist in pain management, who has a very balanced and logical approach to pain. He's not going to throw everyone on a narcotic. And I'm sure Roxy's still listening. And, you know, she had problems with her back. And for years she had pain. And sometimes it is possible, isn't it, to maybe not get the kyphoplasty, that medicine, in the right spot.
It's a possibility, from, I guess, especially from what she's saying.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend, like we said, a second opinion. And also, if she may be already doing this, I would recommend a TENS unit.
And what's that do for pain?
It's electrical therapy, basically to help override pain, or just to help override pain. It's electrical therapy. It's safe, not addicting. Those two things I would recommend. And then, like I say, mainly the second opinion.
Right. And, you know, there's many different ways to approach things. And, you know, in pain, you know, you want to make a good diagnosis. If you can fix the underlying problem, that's great.
Exactly.
And if you can't, there's some other ways we can help the body heal itself.
Exactly.
And that's what some people don't understand is, you know, modern medicine sometimes just lets the body heal itself. And that sounds like what happened to you.
Exactly. And the other thing I'm thinking about her also is she may have osteoporosis.
Okay.
And she needs to be, I would check her vitamin D3 levels.
Okay.
Because most of my patients, everybody in the United States, everybody in the world basically is low in vitamin D3. And I have most all my patients on 5 to 10,000 units a day of vitamin D3 to build their bones up, build muscle, and it helps their immune system. It decreases 16 kinds of cancers.
Wow.
Decreases the risk. Breast cancer in a woman, if you get your level up to 70 to 80, decrease your breast cancer risk by up to 85%.
Wow.
And it's cheap, and you don't hear about it because it's not, a drug company can't make a lot of money on it.
And you can get it if you get out in the sunshine?
And you get it from the sunshine, but as we get older, we don't get it. Our skin doesn't work as well. In wintertime, we don't get enough, and then that's another reason people get cold and flu and things like that. Boost your immune system.
Yeah.
But it sounds like she may have osteoporosis. And if she does, I would do the vitamin D3, and I would also have her a DEXA bone scan, and probably have her start on Forteo, a natural way, a bioidentical way to build bone.
Okay.
I don't like all this other stuff. I want to build the osteoblast and osteoclast to build and remodel bone the safe way.
So the bone doesn't collapse on itself and cause pain.
Or you don't get osteonecrosis of the jaw. I take care of some patients that have had jaw pain from the other things that I don't like as well.
That makes perfect sense. Linda, you're next. You're talking to Dr. Dennis Ford. What's your question or comment here today?
I'm going to take you in a different direction, Dr. Ford.
Okay.
Interested in your take on DHEA as a supplement for 60-plus people, or even in the 50s, for men and women, and also your take on melatonin as an anti-aging agent or supplement to take.
I love melatonin. I've been taking it for about 10 years. I met this doctor from Italy. He's written several books on it, and it's a tremendous anti-aging hormone. It's a tremendous antioxidant. It helps protect the brain. As we get older, we don't make enough of it as we did as a baby and a young kid. That's when they sleep so well. As we get older, I take it every night for a sleep agent. It's a tremendous antioxidant. It helps protect
How many milligrams, and at what time before you want to go to sleep?
What time do you take it before you go to sleep?
Yeah.
I take it about, depending on how you take it, you can take it sublingual, under your tongue, or you take it as a pill. About 30 minutes before I want to go to sleep to help me relax. And most of the time I get a decent sleep with it. I mean, the dosing ranges anywhere from 1 milligram up to actually 20 milligrams. And also the other thing about melatonin in Europe, they use it to treat breast cancer. It's a tremendous boost to your immune system to fight breast cancer.
Yeah. Now,
All right.
she mentioned DHEA.
I love DHEA. There's several ways to take
first,
it.
what is it?
Okay, it's an intermediate hormones. The basic hormone is cholesterol. That's some other hormone. It breaks down halfway down to DHEA and down to testosterone and estrogen.
Okay.
In women, it helps build a little more testosterone. In men, actually, it helps build a little more estrogen, which we don't want too high in men. And so, but I like both of them. They're both an anti-aging thing.
Okay.
All right. And what do you think about testosterone? I know I've taken it before, but I get acne when I take too much.
Yeah, too much is not good. You don't want to get acne or grow hair. As long as you keep your levels, you need it. Women need some for initiative, help you think, help your motivation, even help sex drive. So you need a little bit to keep you young, build bone and build muscle. But you need it in the right levels.
Okay. Well, Linda, thank you for calling in today. I think those were great questions. And unfortunately, we got to go to a break. But after the break, we're going to talk a little bit about, as we age, different chemicals go down that we might not even think about, and we need to start thinking about them to slow down the aging process. We'll be right back after this break with Dr. Dennis Ford.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
The Ultimate Prescription by cardiologist Dr. James Marcum is taking the nation by storm. People everywhere are learning what living a healthy life is all about. If you're happy living a drug-filled, pain-filled, mundane existence, this book is definitely not for you. In this book, Dr. Marcum dives into modern medicine's strengths and weaknesses and explains how lifestyle choices can significantly impact your health. To get your copy, visit Barnes & Noble or shop online at Amazon.com.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
Hello, I'm Dr. Tim Jennings with your Mental Health Minutes. Are you pregnant or thinking of becoming pregnant? Do you want to ensure your child will have the healthiest brain possible? Then avoid all alcohol, because as little as 1 glass of wine per week alters brain development and is associated with behavior and emotion problems. Avoid smoking. Children born to mothers who smoked had higher rates of learning and behavior problems and psychotic disorders. Take omega-3 fatty acids. Omega-3s promote healthy brains and higher IQ. And watch out for depression. Untreated depression is associated with delayed fetal growth and altered brain development. However, antidepressants can increase miscarriage rates, contribute to smaller fetal heads, and slow growth in the newborn. If depressed, consider transcranial magnetic stimulation, the only FDA-cleared, drug-free treatment for depression with no risk to the fetus. To be smart requires a healthy brain, so be smart, do right, and make your child bright.
To learn more about mental health, visit comeandreason.com.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, talking with Dennis Ford on chronic pain, which 1 in 4 Americans have. It's a big topic, and we're going to continue to talk about this on future programs. And I know some of you, the lines are so packed you're not getting through. So if you're not getting through, options are, don't worry, we're going to have Dr. Ford on again. You can certainly go to our website, heartwiseministries.org, or call us back again. We talked last segment about hormones and how, we think about things like thyroid hormone going down as we age, but also when we age, different male and female hormones go down, different chemicals in the brain go down, and we haven't been as tuned as we should as treating these things.
It's probably besides nutrition's number one. The father of medicine, Hippocrates, said, let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. And how smart he was. That was 2,400 years ago.
Right.
And so but past the nutrition, exercise, taking care of yourself, not smoking, doing all the right things, and then once you get all that done, the next thing would be to be sure as we get age, our hormones drop.
Right.
And the ideal way is to keep your hormones at a youthful level of a 20 to 30-year-old, where you help protect your heart. You're a cardiologist.
Right.
I didn't know this, but until I learned this, that the most testosterone receptors in the body are in the heart.
Yeah.
And it helps protect heart disease, against heart disease, inflammation, decreases inflammation. Also protects your brain, of course, builds muscle, builds bone. Everything we want to keep on top of our game mentally and physically. And we want to, as aging, we don't want to go down like this. We want to delay aging and go like this. Okay. And then when you drop, you want to go, or if you're a Christian, you want to, or whatever faith you are, you want to go to heaven. And, so that's our goal, be on top of our game physically and mentally until we have to go where we end up going, right?
Right. And we got some more questions. Mark, you're on with Dr. Ford. Mark's calling from Kentucky. Go ahead, Mark. You're on with Dr. Ford.
Yes, I'm a first-time caller and actually a first-time viewer of your program.
Okay, well, thank you.
And I'm very intrigued with it because I've been a chronic pain sufferer for many, many years now. What I'm suffering from is diabetic neuropathy. And diabetic neuropathy, when I've had all these different tests, they said that actually that there's 4 different kinds of neuropathy, and I was one of the lucky gentlemen to be able to be blessed with all 4. And they said that it was actually the worst case that they had actually seen in 27 years of practice.
Okay.
The problem is I'm seeing a pain management doctor, and they have got me on the Duragesic pain pads, and then they got me on Neurontin, they got me on hydrocodone, they've got me on Cymbalta, all these different things, and it's not getting any better, it's just getting worse, and they're telling me that there's actually no cure for neuropathy.
Okay.
I don't like the quality of life that I'm having. I mean, I have no quality of life at all.
Okay, Mark, we're going to let Dr. Ford give you some suggestions on how he handles this type of situation.
There's one natural thing you may consider adding to that would be R-lipoic acid. Lipoic acid has been proven, it's a natural substance that has been proven. You can take up to 300 milligrams twice a day to see if that'll help decrease the neuropathy pains. It sounds like you're on Cymbalta, and another one, I'm sure you're probably on Lyrica. Those are 2 for diabetic neuropathy.
Well, they put me on the Lyrica, and it didn't work for me, so they got me on 3,600 milligrams of Neurontin now.
Okay. How's your hemoglobin A1C, and how well are your blood sugars controlled?
Blood sugars are doing well. The last A1C that I had was a 6.3.
Well, that sounds like you're doing pretty good there. The only thing I would suggest would is keep that as best controlled as you can. And there is one other, like I say, the alpha-lipoic or R-lipoic acid, LIPOIC acid. It's a natural thing you get at the health food store or on the internet. It's been shown to help decrease neuropathy pains.
And it's called R-lipoic?
Lipoic, LIPOIC.
Okay.
Lipoic acid, and you go to a health food store, they'll know what you're talking about when you tell them that.
Okay. Well,
I really appreciate that because right now I'm grasping at straws.
It's a tough problem, Mark, is having a diabetic neuropathy. So we'll keep you in our prayers, and we're about ready to go to break. So we're going to have some more questions after the break. You still have time to give us a call. 855-644-3278. We're talking with Dr. Dennis Ford. Peripheral neuropathy is very tough, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it after we come back from break. And if you can't get through on our lines, don't worry. We're going to have Dr. Ford back again, or you can go to the website. That's heartwiseministries.org. Stay with us.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
place for modern medicine, but that's not enough. There's a place for lifestyle, but that's not enough. The real truth in medicine, the real truth in healing comes from that relationship with the Heavenly Father. That relationship can show us the balance, when to use modern medicine, when to use lifestyle, and to use it for the right reasons. Well, this book gives the solution to the healthcare dilemma. It answers the question, why am I sick? How do I get better? And how can I have ultimate healing?
Nice. No. Come on.
Oops.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go. Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy.
Works every time.
Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Have you ever heard things about God that didn't make sense? Have you ever thought that science and Scripture cannot be reconciled? Have you heard ideas about God that scare you? Or are you just tired and confused? If you want answers to complex problems, if you want a testable, evidence-based understanding of God and the world around you, an understanding in which the Bible and science harmonize to reveal the reality that God is love all the time, then Come and Reason Ministries is for you. Hi, I'm Dr. Tim Jennings, board-certified psychiatrist, and Come and Reason Ministries is dedicated to helping you learn to discern, to stimulate you to think, to help hone and refine your ability to know the right from the wrong, the healthy from the unhealthy, and teach you how to experience healing of your mind, body, and relationships here and now. If you would like an evidence-based approach to knowing God, then visit us online at comeandreason.com.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everyone. We're talking with Dr. Dennis Ford, who's a specialist in pain management. By looking at our phone lines that lit up, we know this is a big problem. The statistics that I quoted earlier proves it. And if you're out there suffering from chronic pain, the first thing we want you to know is our prayers are with you. And even if something can't be done permanently, there's a God that's going to heal us. We want to encourage you to get into a relationship with that healing God that can make things right in His time. But until that comes, we want to give you some great information. We're not selling anything. There's no products here. We just want to give you good information and also let you know that there's people out there that care about you, and we hope that helps pain and suffering in this world. Our next call is from Wanda in Birchwood, Tennessee. Wanda, what's your question tonight for Dr. Ford?
Yes, sir. First of all, I'd like to say that I do believe in the power of prayer.
Good.
And I was 41 years old when I had to have a spinal fusion in L4, L5, and S1 in my lower spine. And a couple of years later, I had problems, and they had to go in there and take some of it out, the hardware. And then I had a TENS unit a couple of years later after that, and I'm in chronic pain every day of my life. I'm under pain management. I've had shots. I've had epidurals. And I just live in chronic pain every day of my life without medication. I know they told me they tried everything they could to help me. It's just something I know I'm going to have to live with, But I don't understand why all them surgeries didn't help me.
I could say up to about 60% of back surgeries are successful, and potentially up to 40% are not successful. Back is one place that God made on our body that man hasn't really gotten great at fixing, like taking your gallbladder out or doing appendix surgery or your tonsils. So have you tried a spinal stimulator?
Yes, I had the TENS unit and some nerve stimulator thing. Where I mash this little button, is that what it is?
No, I'm talking, has your pain doctor talked to you about trying a spinal stimulator trial? It's where we put a spinal stimulator in the epidural space, and it helps, it's like a TENS unit, only about 1,000 times better, patients tell me. And it helps pain from your back down your legs, all the way down your legs. And it overrides the pain.
I had it, and they had to take it out after a couple months. it just wasn't working.
It didn't help you. Okay.
No.
That was one option that Jerry Lewis, the comedian's got that. He loves his, but everybody's different. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. And one other option might be for you would be like a spinal pump. Maybe if the pain medicine doesn't control, that's like a last resort type option.
Yeah, that I don't really care for is
Okay.
to have that done. I really don't. But like I said, I've been on pain medicine now for years, and I really don't. You know, I was a young woman. 41 years old was young to have all that done, and still I suffer.
Yes, I think probably, and every once in a while every few years or so, sometimes we change from one pain medicine to another. Sometimes your body becomes tolerant to it, and you have to change it to a different one to get a better pain relief. So
yeah, I've been changed so many times.
It sounds like you have a good pain doctor. In the pain, in chronic pain, I hate to say this, but if we get your pain scores decreased from say a 10 to 5 to 7 range, we consider that success because chronic pain is so difficult to treat, especially when you've had several back surgeries.
I can lay on my side, and my legs, it feels like somebody's ripping them off. Well, I can lay on my back, and it feels like somebody's trying to tear my spine out of my back. That's the only way I know how to explain the pain. Yeah. I can't sit for long. I can't stand for long. And I know they're doing all they can to control it, but I didn't know, if they will ever get it under control.
Yeah. And Wanda, sometimes, no matter what medicine does, it can't fix the problems. Sometimes there's nerves that can't be fixed, and even though we do the lifestyle changes and everything modern medicine out there, this isn't a perfect world. And that's why, especially in your situation, we want to encourage you, to keep your faith up. Realize that there's a relationship with a God that can make things perfect in His time. Things like laughter and music and serving others and being happy might make some endorphins that might help a little bit. So we will keep you in our prayers as time moves forward here, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for calling us. And
okay,
and that brings up a great point, Dr. Ford. Sometimes medicines just can't, we don't fix things, we just help the symptoms.
Sometimes that's true, unfortunately.
Yeah, sometimes it can. So, we know this is a big problem out there, and it's a problem that we have to handle correctly as well. We're going to go to break right now. If you want to give us a call, we have a chance maybe to fit in one more call. We're 855-644-3278. And if you didn't get your phone call answered tonight, you can go to our website, heartwiseministries.org. We want to also consider you to be our friend on Facebook. We're going to be right back with Dr. Ford after this brief break.
The Heart of Health Live will return in just a moment.
I'm Dr. James Marcum, and I talk to patients every day who want to know the truth in healthcare. On our website, heartwiseministries.org, you can have your questions answered. You can read my blog where I talk about interesting and controversial subjects in medicine. You might choose to go to the radio or television sections and learn more about all sorts of health topics. Take the time and go to heartwiseministries.org.
So here's a question. If you love Jesus, and I mean truly love Him, people will notice, right? I mean, if Jesus is at the center of everything you do, people will have to notice. And that is exactly what Life Talk is all about. You see, at Life Talk, our goal has always been to connect people to the true source of power, Jesus Christ. We know with Jesus at the center of our lives, nothing is impossible.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Marcum, Speaker, Director of Heartwise Ministries. And at Heartwise, our goal is to bring people into a relationship with the Heavenly Father using modern medicine and the healing principles found in the Bible. We teach people that there is a place for modern medicine and a healthy lifestyle, but it is in a relationship with their Creator where ultimate healing can occur. Over the past years, our ability to share this message of truth, love, and healing around the world has increased exponentially. But to continue this steady growth, we need your help. We are looking and praying for 100 individuals willing to give $1,000 a year. If the Spirit is moving you to become one of the HeartWise 100, won't you consider donating online today at heartwiseministries.org.
You've got questions, we've got answers on the Heart of Health Live. Welcome back.
We've been talking this evening with Dr. Ford. Dr. Ford, first of all, we want to thank you so much for sharing with you. I know you have a busy practice and a lot of stuff, but thank you for sharing your knowledge with us.
Thanks for asking me to be
Yeah.
on.
And we're going to have you back again. I understand you're going to learn some about aging.
I'm heading to Las Vegas in 2 weeks to go to the World Conference on Anti-Aging and learn from all the top doctors in the world from different specialties.
So next time we have you back, we're going to focus on aging, but we're definitely going to talk about pain since it's so prevalent as well. Now, we have a minute or so. What would you like to share with the whole world if you could just look into that camera and just share something with them, that's some take-home points of what you want to leave with people this evening?
Okay, I think first of all, you know, your health is your wealth. You lose it, and I don't care how much money, if you're the richest guy in the world, Bill Gates or whoever, if you don't feel good, who cares? So number one, you got to take care of yourself. You got to learn about your nutrition. Get your rest at night, at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Drink, like you say, drink lots of water, you know, to where your urine is pretty clear. And if I could only take one vitamin, I'm big into vitamins. If I could only take one vitamin, it'd be vitamin D3.
Okay.
Most everybody's deficient. Have your doctor check your levels. It's in pain, and it'll help decrease pain, actually, if you get your levels up. Helps build your immune system. Helps decrease risk of flu, colds, cancers, up to 16 types of cancers. So I'm basically just taking care of yourself. Good. Keeping your weight down, exercising, you know, your health is your wealth.
And this is the very important topic that we need to talk about in the future is chronic pain. First, I think we want to identify what's causing it, so maybe we can alleviate pressure. We've talked about all the ways that the body can help heal itself, and sometimes you need some medicine to decrease inflammation, like an epidural. Sometimes you might need manipulation to get the nerve in a happy position to let the body heal. Some people do need medicines and nutrition, so it's a multifactorial. Yes, some people do need medicines, but we're hoping that will be a minimal. We're glad you joined us. We're going to be on with Dr. Ford again. You can watch us every week. Give us a call, 855-644-3278. And I want to leave you with Dr. Ford's number. He practices here in the Chattanooga, Cleveland area. His phone number at his practice is 423-614-0535. We're going to be back next week. Thanks for joining us.